So due to some major changes to the channel, I've decided to take it from it was Sam Van Hickton to Camping with Ghosts. Simply because when we go away in the camper van, quite often Lindsay and I will search for a historic site or a site well known for hauntings or a stone circle, Brock's in Scotland. We tend to hang around these things quite a lot, and um, I thought combining the two on the YouTube channel might be a very good idea in order to get more subscribers and more followers and views. So if you like that kind of thing, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. There will be more. Unfortunately, the van is out of order at the moment, so the gearbox has failed, and it's quite costly to get that fixed. So for the time being, we'll be uploading a few ghost stories, a few ghost walks, and some visits to some historic sites with ghost stories attached as well. So that that's the plan for the near future until we get the van back on the road and we can start doing more van life based ghost hunting type trips. So on that note, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch, and we hope you enjoy the ride.
Burton Agnes Hall, England's most horrifying haunting. Stately Burton Agnes Hall has been owned and maintained by the family of Roger de Stuteville for nearly 9 centuries. Having been constructed in 1173, the Burton Agnes Hall we see today was constructed between 1601 and 1610 by first Baronet Sir Henry Griffiths. Both buildings are Grade 1 listed and its beautiful gardens are lovingly cared for. A haunting of Burton Agnes Hall. The ghost that has troubled the buildings for 400 years can be traced to the tragic death of Catherine Anne Griffiths, a death that has left a psychic scar on the fabric of the house ever since. The death of Anne Griffiths, or Anne, as she was known by friends and family, was the youngest daughter of Henry Griffiths, the man who rebuilt Burton Agnes Hall. As the house was being built, Anne beamed with joy and pride over its construction. She would often be overheard stating it was the most beautiful house ever to grace the landscape of 17th century Britain. She looked forward to the day when she could wander its many corridors, getting lost in the home that she absolutely adored. Sadly, those days would never come to be for the young woman. Shortly before the house was completed in 1620, Anne decided to take a day trip to St Quintin's at Harpham, a town a mere mile away. She would never reach her destination. As she approached St John's Well, she was attacked by a group of highwaymen. The bloodthirsty brigands viciously beat the young woman, stealing all of her possessions. When she was found on the road, barely clinging to life, she was returned to Burton Agnes Hall. She languished for only a few days before succumbing to her injuries in the presence of her sisters, but not before making a macabre request. According to the legend, Anne, as she slipped in and out of lucidity, asked that her head be severed and placed in the beloved house. Perhaps in an effort to pacify their younger sibling, the 2 older sisters agreed to her final wish. However, Anne's sisters found her request far too gruesome and had her body buried in a local churchyard, head and all. And as you might expect, that's when things went from plain bad to just downright frightening. Within days of the burial, frightening activity engulfed Burton Agnes Hall. Family and servants reported coming face to face with the grim spectre of Anne. The ghost appeared bloodied and battered, relentlessly haunting the house and terrifying any unlucky enough to cross her path. Not only would her angry wraiths be seen stalking the halls, but she delighted in slamming doors, banging on walls and screaming at all hours of the night. Anne's sisters knew something had to be done, so they consulted the wise counsel of their clergyman as to what course of action that should be taken. When the two women visited the vicar, he listened to their tale of supernatural work. He came up with the only solution that he could think of. According to him, Anne's sisters must honour their agreement. They had to exhume her remains and bring her head into the BURTON Agnes home. The sisters were desperate to rid themselves of Anne's ghost and did what the vicar told them to. And almost immediately the activity abated. The ghost of their younger sister was appeased and vanished, but only for a time. Over the years, there have been a number of attempts to rid the house of the grotesque relic. Among them, the skull has been thrown away or buried in the garden, and each time the frightening apparition of Anne appears in her bloodied gown, once again screaming that her skull be returned to where it belongs immediately. The skull is said to still remain in the house, hidden away somewhere from those who would dare seek to unsettle it. Knowing full well if the skull should ever be disturbed, they would incur the wrath of Anne Griffiths. Start wearing trainers everywhere because of my foot. I can't wear my boots anymore. I can't wear anything.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not good.
See the chimneys from here there.
Oh, I love it. Another one. The emergency fire exit. It's new, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, ish.
Can you film in here? Well, I'm going to take some pictures.
That view's amazing. Through the window. That's so cool. These would be really good to make. So they're the three sisters.
They're the three sisters,
Yeah.
and which one was the one who had the...
Anne. Catherine. Anne. I think the lady in black, that's Catherine.
Sorry? You thinking about food? It's ticking.
The sun's setting into it.
Do what you're doing.
You see my art shot? Check this out. Me trying to be clever a minute ago.
People in the bloody picture.
Look.
Nice, look at that. Look at you going. Oh, look at that one. Aren't you sexy? Jesus. When was it built?
Well, the That's medieval, if you remember that part that we went in. There's like a Norman undercroft in that area. This is obviously 1601, but I'm sure a house existed on here before then. It's Elizabethan. So it was built in 1601, but I think the church that was here obviously existed before that, and they built it next to that because that church is medieval. You know, the part we went in last time and found the swallow, the dead one that my cat pinched out of my handbag
And spread around the house.
after I was going to taxidermy it.
It's very dark in here. Can't see. Yeah, a little bit eerie. The Undercroft. So yeah, this was built in 1170. Yeah, 500 years before the construction of the spacious Elizabethan house in 1601. This is 500 years older. This is ancient, but you can't see a thing in here without a torch. It's definitely eerie in here. I don't know what it is, but it's, you know, 1170. Eerie is not the word. It's very strange in here. And now we go upstairs. Whoa, tight. I thought you disappeared then. You just wouldn't believe 500 years before they built that, they built this. So yeah, it's 500 years younger. And this is where Lindsay and I found a dead bird. And Lindsay, being Lindsay, wanted to take it home and do weird things with it. Didn't you? And what happened?
My right hand's hot.
Is it? No idea. Well, the cat nicked the bird out of Lindsay's handbag. Obviously, this is just a little adventure video. I don't really know what it contains, but we just like hanging out in really old places, don't we, love? You certainly have.
There's something in this place.
There is something in this place.
I
Yeah.
get an energy of a meeting.
Well, that's because you sat around a bloody table, you know, Anna.
Like a meeting at a club and someone died as a result.
Right. I just want them to light the fires because it's freezing.
No one actually lived here, did they?
Yeah, I think, because it says here, the living quarters. It says, this one main room, approached from outside by staircase, will originally have been the main living quarters for the Lord, his family, and some of his retainers. It served as a dining hall and sleeping accommodation with little privacy afforded to the family. So, at Burton Agnes, there is no trace or record of other buildings forming the manor, but these must have existed. A series of private rooms for the Lord and his family was probably among the earliest additions. Other necessary buildings were a chapel, a kitchen, normally well separate in case of fire. The roof is of 15th century date and replaces an earlier one which would have had much steeper pitch. That's a good point, actually. Can't see the roof. Just gonna have a look out these windows a little bit. I'll have to turn the light off. Would I sleep in here? On my own?
With me?
Yes.
On your own?
No. Probably not. I'd probably get the wise idea in my head to sleep in here overnight, and then I'd jack it in as soon as it went dark and end up running away and going back home. Because, yeah, I've got an overactive imagination. Let's watch you go, and I'll come down to you.
Watch my head as well.
Oh, it's bloody narrow. Oh, it's dark. Do you know what? I think that was the most fun I've had here. If only they let you in this bit for free.
Yeah.
You think the Vale's thinner this time of
It
year?
is. You can feel it. And it's what I'm talking about when it's like it's death, because everything's dying. Everything's cold, everything quietens down. And it is a reminder of your own mortality. Quite profound.
Quite profound, isn't it? In other news, how the fuck am I going to get my van fixed? Because this thing just ain't doing it for me. We need to do some camping.
You need to sell your body.
We need to do some camping on our Camping with Ghosts videos, Lindsay. Which just isn't possible at the moment.